It's your boy Jay Fennell from the Licka podcast. I'm sitting here with Calvin Chambers from Icarus Metro Comics. Calvin, how you doing, man?
What's going on? I'm doing pretty good. How y'all doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing good. My boy Chuck's not here today, but he'll be with me when we do the streaming episode, future episodes. But yeah, I know we met at BlurredCon up in Arlington, Virginia. What was that? July 7th?
That was the week after. I think it was July 14th weekend.
Okay. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
It was a good time. You know, it was definitely went by quick. You know what I mean?
It did.
You know, because I was like, I didn't really get to experience it. You know what I mean? Because I was vending. You know, I was selling my books and stuff and trying to spread awareness and stuff. So it was just nonstop. Like, okay, you know, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about that. But was it like I couldn't like sit there and like play any video games or anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I couldn't meet Cree Summer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that line was crazy.
That was crazy.
That line was crazy. The Cree Summer line was insane. Yeah, definitely going to get into the comics because I actually bought one, the Oni Hunter. Jacob Bills is that dude, but we'll get into that.
Okay.
But what made you want to start your own comic book company?
Well, I've always had these stories, you know, in my head. Ever since I was young. You know what I mean? I grew up on, you know, the animated DC Comics shows. I grew up on anime, grew up on, you know, just reading manga as a whole. And, you know, I've always played with the idea of like my own characters, my own stories and stuff. I went to my first Comic-Con in like 2016. I saw people making their own stories. Well, I would say I saw people making their own art, their own original characters, right? And then I just said, you know what? What if I could start to hire some of these people to make my stories? You know what I mean? You know, because, you know, there was no way for me to work at Marvel or DC. To my knowledge at that time, there was no way for me to work at Marvel or DC because I had no type of artistic skills. So I don't draw at all, you know?
Okay.
And you know, I didn't know you could become a writer, but it's almost like you're pitching yourself, and it was just a lot of work. I felt like it was easier for me to write these stories that I already had pre-existing and try to share it. And I decided to make a company with it because, you know, obviously I am selling something, I am selling a product, you know, and I wanted to make sure that it's actually legit, you know what I mean? It wasn't just like, you know, because it could have easily been a hobby.
Very true.
You know, putting out there as a hobby, but with me actually hiring somebody or hiring people, you know, I had to make a company out of it, you know.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Like, you know, just seeing other artists and wanting to put them on, but also kind of boost yourself in the process. And you know, I read Oni Hunter, and
so you got a peek of. Well,
yeah.
Let's just say this. Let's just say this. The Kickstarter is different from the pre-release book.
Okay.
Being so that there's 2 additional stories within the Kickstarter.
Okay.
So the Kickstarter is an additional 16 pages. So you get 2 stories after that origin story.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. So now you'll get the Kickstarter.
So you got the intro.
Yeah.
Next is like, all right, you know, you get 2 additional. They're one-shot stories. You know, but they're following after that origin story.
Gotcha.
But you already got the premise of people's demeanors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of how people act. You know.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting to follow, and like, you know, just seeing the character develop, like in the process of reading it, I was like, yeah, this is good. This is like I want to read more. Like I have to read more. So yeah, and I'm a person, I have a short attention span, man. So if you can keep my attention on something, it's solid.
You know, it's crazy. My brother said the same thing, man. He was like, he was like, yo, I haven't read Oni Hunter yet. And I was like, yo, I needed him because he came with me to DreamCon to help me event for DreamCon. He was like, yo, you know, you want me to try to put Oni Hunter into the hands of people I haven't read it yet. And I was like, but, you know, you don't read. You know what I mean? like, you know what I mean? I know, you know, you can sell something, but you know, you don't read. He's like, that's true. But let me give it a try. Right? I gave him the book he just started breezing through it. And he's just like, he finished it in like 30 minutes, like 15, 20, 30 minutes, right? And he said, now this is my type of story. This is what we got to keep pinning out.
Yeah.
You know, this is what we got to keep doing, you know?
I agree.
He's like basketball, monsters, you know, the artwork's good. Yeah, keep doing this. And I was like, what about Icarus Metro? He was like, you know how I am about 2K. You know what I mean? He's like, I get 2K every year. I see basketball. That's kind of like, okay, let me get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So, like, because I was reading it, you know, Jacob Bills was a character that was like somewhat relatable to a certain standpoint.
Yeah.
But then there was aspects of like real life in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay. And then, like, of course, the language being modern and everything like that. So I was like, yeah, this is solid right here. I like this.
So what aspects of real life within the book did you like?
So just like some of the terminology, some of the behaviors of the characters.
Okay.
Like Desmond, for example.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's always that one homie. That's just,
there's always that one homie that's,
you know what I'm saying? So, you know, things like that just kind of like made me see like, all right, this legit. Like, it's fantasy, it's comic, but at the same time, like, you can kind of relate to it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Because you know, I am in the process of writing too. So any feedback helps, you know.
Yeah. I'm trying to give feedback without giving too much away about what I read, just in case someone hasn't read it yet. So yeah, you know, just I'll say the club aspect of it, the first club.
Okay, the first club. Okay, yeah.
You know, because that's what people think helps you relax. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so like I don't want to give it away, but like things like that, I thought was dope. I definitely thought it was dope. Do you ever see yourself possibly turning this into like some sort of production as far as animation or live action, like for film, TV?
See, honestly, that's the goal. You know what I mean? I'm a big movie guy. I know I've been hearing lately it's kind of taboo to say, oh, you know, your goal is animation and stuff, or your goal is live action, or you're looking to sell your work to, you know, get it made into a big production. But honestly, you know, that's what I really want out of this, man. I want to build it to a point where people are looking for the live action, people are looking for the animation. Now, I can't personally see Oni Hunter to animation, but I know people who really want that. I know people want it, and I'm scared about that because I don't want it. I'd rather see it live action. You know what I mean?
I can do it live action.
I'd rather see this live action, and I've been actually thinking about
played out on screen.
Yeah,
in any way I can get it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like because the whole basketball aspect and stuff like that. Basketball is kind of funny in anime, you know, or animation. Like we got good scenes in Kuroko no Basketball, the movie, and A Hero no Sora is Slam Dunk, but they have to really condense a lot to show everything within a basketball game. It's a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot, you know? And then you got the demon hunting side. So it's like mixing Kuroko no Basketball, the movie, with like a whole season of Demon Slayer. That's a lot for animation.
That's a whole lot.
Yeah, that's a lot, you know? But for like the live action, have you ever watched Country Wayne skits?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about maybe doing something like that with Oni Hunter.
That would be dope. That would be dope too.
Like original, like just building like, you know, like a little like YouTube skit series and stuff like that with Oni Hunter. I don't know how. And my only thing that stopped me right now is like, okay, how do I incorporate the basketball? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You know what I mean? Because I can't run out. Yeah, because I can't run out in the stadium. You know, but you know, you know. So just figuring that out. That's the tough part.
Yeah, I mean, it can be done, but you know, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just got to start. That's true.
So you know, as long as you got the idea, you got the story, everything else, you know, it'll fall in place. It'll definitely fall in place.
That's true.
So I'm definitely going to be picking up some more on Oni Hunter, but I know you have some other projects as well. Do you want to speak about those a little bit?
Yeah. Before I speak about those, for people who are watching this right now, Definitely check out Oni Hunter on Kickstarter. Oni Hunter 1 is on Kickstarter, a 40-page, 3 stories in 1 edition. You get 2 different covers. You can get the streetwear, which is a shirt, some basketball shorts, and the Scully cap. So that's something I didn't have at BlurCon. So I got that for DreamCon. But yeah, we do have the clothing there available, and we are going to be doing clothing drops occasionally now with Icarus, something brand new that, I was suggested, and I got somebody working on that. But yeah, we're going to be doing the clothing and stuff too. So check us out on Kickstarter. Every backer gets a free print for every backer. After like a couple of days ago, I already owe like 700 push-ups, but like I do 100 push-ups per new backer. So definitely check it out. Yeah. New projects. I got a list right here in front of me, actually.
Okay.
Like, it's not planned of like new projects that I want to put out there for 2024. I got 9 titles right here. Of course, all 9 titles aren't going to happen. But, I do got one light novel that I'm working on right now. I've been working on this for about maybe 6-7 years. It started off as a web comic and it's currently on Webtoons. It's called Goose. And I'm actually rewriting it into a web comic because it's kind of a lot to have like for a manga. Because I plan like 13 arcs. So I want to like have like each book be an arc. Of course, Oni Hunter 2, I want to, put that out for like mixture between Black History Month, March Madness. Icarus Metro number 3 is currently being worked on right now. It's, the lines, it's been a long time coming for this one. So the lines are being worked on. So hopefully we'll be able to get Icarus 3 and potentially Icarus 4 next year. I got an Oni Hunter spinoff coming. That's definitely coming out next year. That's going to be a part of book 2. I'm going to do like the two Kickstarters in one for the Oni Hunter spinoff. And some other projects that, I'm still working out. But, one thing that I'm trying to do right now is like build my team. And with building my team, I want to bring on some like writers and stuff who want to like work on different projects and stuff, maybe like a 3-part series. And because I'm a male, I have my perspective on life, right? But I don't have any stories from a woman's perspective.
Okay.
Right. So I would like to ideally bring on a woman, or maybe another male, you know what I mean? Who knows? As writers, people who want to write, they may or may not have wrote comics before, but they want to write or create their own book and put it into my universe. And I want to bring on some people like that to like write for this universe so that we can all have a collective with books together and, have their projects along the slate. So that way, they can promote their book and talk about their book, and then have references from my characters and my characters theirs, and maybe a crossover, stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I hope for next year. So little by little, just planning it.
Oh yeah, big plan. So like, how hard is it when you have an idea or multiple ideas to decide like, all right, this is the one I'm gonna go with versus this one?
It's seriously difficult because I've been writing. I've been like doing all these like comic writing and stuff like that since like 2016. So like some of these ideas are like 2016 just coming, like they're first in the queue.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And like I have other ideas that I want to put out, I want to push, but I can't because they're so far behind in the queue. Even though I know there'd be good stories, they're so far behind the queue. And it's not like I have unlimited money. I want to go over budget. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to go over a little budget. You know what I mean? Only a certain amount can be used per month. You know what I mean? So that's why I started to transition a little bit, going the light novel route, so I can put out more, cost effectively. You know what I mean? You know, and it's not going to be like a big difference. It's still going to be pages, but it's, you know, you're going to have to read. You know, it's going to be a little different. You're going to have to read. You know, and that, and for example, the one I'm talking about making a light novel, the first of the light novels, that's the one I really want to be in animation. And I've actually made short clips of the characters on animation on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So for people listening, you know, if you guys want to check out some of the animation, you think I should continue, definitely look at the YouTube channel. We also have a Patreon. So if we can, you know, start building that Patreon, then we could definitely get some animation going, or at least like maybe like a pilot or a trailer to like an animated film. I have an animator already, and I have access to animators. Like I have their emails. I don't have access to them, but I have the emails for animators from like One Piece, Naruto, you know, Demon Slayer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just affording it.
It's a matter of time, like to affording it.
It's just the budget. Yeah, it's just the budget. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it takes a lot, because ultimately I want to give people what they want. And I, you know, I'm not going to write a story I don't want to write. You know what I mean? You know, but I do want to give people, like, if somebody's looking for a specific story, then I'm going to provide that. For example, at BlurCon, a lot of people tell me they want romance stories, and they want, you know, fantasy elves and stuff like that. Now, I don't know too much about fantasy elves. I'm not big on that. But, you know, I said to myself, okay, maybe I could add a little bit of romance within a new story.
Gotcha.
You know?
No, that makes sense. Like, you know, you want to please the fans, but you want to stay true to who you are as a storyteller at the same time. So I completely get that. Like, personally, you know, just after reading Oni Hunter, that's my lane. So, like, so right now we good. Like, I'm not real into the fantasy elves and things like that either. So, no, I get it, but it's a whole different realm than those like fantasy things. But yeah, nah, it's good to see, like, you know, Black people, another Black man, just, you know, pursuing his dream, doing what he loves to do, you know, making comic books. Like, even growing up, like, my dad was an artist.
Really?
My dad has a room full of comic books that he has written and drawn out, original characters, and has done nothing with them.
That's for you now.
So I'm waiting on him to give me the okay.
Man, you got to do some convincing. If he has them already written and drawn out, that's a freaking universe. You, like, all you got to do is go to a con and just like. So let me tell you a story. Okay. It's a story about me when I first started, right? So, you know, I mentioned that I've been doing this from like 2016, 2017. Well, I came up with Icarus Metro Comics in 2020, right? And I put Icarus Metro 1 out in 2021. So while there was a huge gap, was that I started the company with somebody else and I failed, right? You know, the company, we had to dissolve it. You know, we were not on good terms. There was a lot of conflict, et cetera, right? And then I was working on my webcomic, but I felt very discouraged. You know, I was there by myself. I was scared of failure. You know what I mean? And I took a big break. It was like from 2018 all the way to 2020. You know, and then and I honestly wasn't gonna go back into comics. I mean, I really wanted to keep writing. You know what I mean? I wanted to write this webcomic, but I was just like, I'm not gonna create a company. I'm not gonna do all this stuff again. Here I go. You know. All I had was like one friend telling me like, yo, like, what happened to your stories? I want to, you know, read more stories. You know, this is that. You on a roll? This is that. And I'm just like, if I started again, would you support? You know what I mean? That's all it takes. You know, would you read it? Would you get involved? And you know, he has, you know what I mean? And I did, and I created this, I created Oni Hunter, I created all these different stories. And all it took was just, just a little push, man, because honestly, I was unmotivated. I was fearful. I was fearful people would hate it, because coming in comics is a lot of money. You know what I mean? Coming from just being a writer. Now, I'm only saying this because if you already got the product and you got the podcast, the platform, you know what I mean?
It's there. So
you're already at the events.
If I can get my pops to sign off, that's the thing. If I can get them to sign off, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. I gotta get them to sign off. That's been the toughest thing.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. Because he was like, I'll just do it for me, pass time by, whatever. And I'm like, but you got this original character right here, like drawn out, frame by frame. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? So we'll see what happens. But just it was crazy because when I met you at BlurredCon and I went by the table and I flipped through the book initially for Oni Hunter, I was like, I can get behind this, because it reminded me of his stuff. Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, this is dope. Then when I got back to North Carolina, actually sat down and read it, and I was just like, yeah, this is it right here. So now, of course, I'm about to go through and pick up Icarus Metro 1, 2. I'm about to just have to go through everything because I've always been a comic book nerd.
Okay.
So, I was big into Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
A little bit of Icon, but I know
Icon is what, DC, right?
Now, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot when it took over, but yeah, so I've been on it for a long time. So yeah, it's definitely something I was interested in. That's why I made sure, because I had passed the table like twice, and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just go back and do the interview if I can get one with them. So, which I'm glad I did, man. So yeah, but yeah, I watch all your posts on Instagram and everything. Share what I can. That's why I posted Oni Hunter today. I was like, yeah, we talking today, so I need to go ahead and put it out. I was waiting for you to actually drop everything so people had a chance to read it. I didn't want to blow up the spot a little too much or anything like that. But what's been one of your biggest inspirations outside of just having people tell you okay, I want to read more of your stories? What inspired you to become a writer?
Man, honestly, just self-fulfillment, man. I just like all these ideas swarming in my head, all these different stories that I enjoy myself. I'm writing something that I enjoy. You know what I mean? Or I like. I'm creating these storylines and these plot lines and stuff like that, of stuff that I love to do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, personally, it's just self-fulfillment, man. You know what I mean? I know people out here looking for new stuff to read. People constantly reading anime, they kind of constantly reading comics. I see Marvel, for example, Marvel and DC putting out so many different books, weekly, man. It's just I go to comics, so I see so many different comics. I'm like, somebody's got to be reading them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I look at Nightwing or other different books, and you see them in the hundreds for their run. I'm like, somebody's got to be reading this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So obviously, there's a need for people to read. And I just want to try to throw my hat in the bucket, man. And then right now, it's something that's the hat's floating, but we'll see how long the hat lasts. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I personally definitely feel like you're going to be in it for the long run. Oh yeah, I don't see it slow down and see it picking up more.
No, I don't want to sound negative. I'm sounding negative, but
no.
When I say I try, is that I'm going to do the best with what I got.
Facts. Understand that.
I mean? Yeah. So.
No, I completely. Definitely. But yeah, Calvin, man, definitely glad I had a chance to sit down with you, man. I know it's been a long time coming. The initial interview, the sound was distorted as hell. We were on when I posted it to Instagram, which was crazy, but I'm glad we definitely set this up so that, we could talk to the people a little bit about what you got going on, your projects and everything. To anybody watching, Icarus Metro Comics on Instagram. You want to drop your other socials?
Yes. We are Icarus Metro on Twitter. You can find us Icarus Metro Comics on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. If you message us, you have any questions, you have any feedback, you want to talk about the book, etc., we will respond. You know what I mean? We're not those people who will just be like, oh, like the message and stuff like that. We will definitely respond. We are setting up a Patreon outside of the Kickstarter. So the Kickstarter is for Oni Hunter. Definitely check it out. We have about 25 days left on the campaign. We're about 32% of our goal. So anything helps. We're trying to get this book out. And Kickstarter is a pre-order platform, not a GoFundMe. So you'll always get a reward if you back the Kickstarter. But we are setting up a Patreon. Patreon, we're going to have exclusive rewards. We're still idealizing what those rewards would be, but it will be access to me, access to other writers, access to other creators, access to our shop where we are creating clothing, just to pick through designs, and access to animation. So, yes, I hope to see everybody in the land of Icarus because we're excited to be here and excited to show you around.
Dope. Again, Calvin Chambers, I'm Jay Fennell. This is the Licka House Podcast. Calvin, I appreciate you stopping through, man.
No problem, man. I appreciate you for having me.
Oh, yeah, anytime. We can meet again. Sure. Let's see. We'll meet again for your next issue. I'll message you on Instagram. We'll set something up.
Okay. All right, set it up. All right, let's go.
All right, sounds good. But this is the Licka House Podcast. Your boy Jay Fennell signing off. Pull up, catch a vibe. Peace.
Whatever goes around comes around. Every lifetime